biblical? Of course it is.
Read your Bible as interpreted by experts.
I think that view is headed for a deep mischief.
Just remember, it's not a lie if you believe it.
What is up? Welcome to Ministry Bible Theater 3000. My name is Caleb Hegg. With me, of course, my lovely assistant, Rob Vanhoff. Woohoo! Sorry for not being here last week. I'm still dealing with it, man. Still got I got the black lung pop. Anyway, yeah, the whole family. I mean, just very, very, very sick. Like really sick.
Man.
I think it's the most sick we've been in probably since 2019. Yeah, really sick. Anyway, so we're on the mend now. Thank you, everyone, for letting me have a week off. I mean, I don't think I would have been able to actually even sit. I was like in bed, unable to move. It was intense. Anyway, we're back now, and we got a lot of stuff. We got a lot of really fun stuff planned. I was looking over some of the notes that we got, some of the Messiah Matters notes that we're going to be looking at. Good stuff, man. I'm excited. We got some really good stuff. We have Rob doesn't know this, by the way. We have a message from a 13-year-old that is just absolutely dynamite. It's really the whole show is going to be centered around this question that he's posed to us. Anyway, yeah, it's good. 8:30 a.m. on. Actually, that one was last. So we're pre-recording. This is Monday. So you go watch that show. It's good. I'm sure. It hasn't been recorded yet, but I'm sure it's good. Anyway, we'll have more coming up next week too.
It was a great show.
It was a great show. 8:30 a.m. now instead of 9:30. 8:30 a.m. on Wednesdays. All right. Today, we've got a fun one. Now, the video that we're going to be watching is from a Instagram account. Actually, maybe it's, this is actually a YouTube page called The Bible Smith Project. The Bible Smith Project. Now, I haven't looked a whole lot at what they got going on here. It looks like a lot of what they have is just odd. I don't know. It looks like what they're really going for is shorts, though. They got a lot of shorts that they're pushing here. Not a lot of views on their shorts, though. However, they do have 145,000 subscribers. 145,000 subscribers. The Bible Smith Project. All right, you ready for it? Let's kick over to the other view and let's take. Oh, by the way, before we kick over, here we go. chegatoresource.com. Send your wackadoo videos into chegatoresource.com. We will possibly look at them on Mystery Bible Theater 3000. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Okay, let's kick over now at this point, and we will see our new view. Here we go with our video.
Ever wonder if Enoch and Elijah, those who ascended without tasting death, required Jesus' atonement? The answer is a resounding no. Enoch and Elijah didn't need Jesus' atonement because they bypassed death and were taken directly to heaven by God. Atonement is a provision for those who have sinned and seek forgiveness. As we delve into 2 Kings, we find Elijah's story and God's direct intervention. This reveals that God's grace is boundless, surpassing even the need for atonement in exceptional cases. So rest assured, the divine plan is perfect, and every story holds a unique purpose in its design.
So, I mean, there is one truth here. God's plan is perfect. However, the notion that when does this person or this group believe that that salvation is needed?
I
only when
just in terms of like production, is that, you know how you sometimes you see these ads that it's the AI voice?
Yeah, that's
it's
it.
Like
yep,
it
and not only
like
that,
AI voice.
It is an AI voice. So what they've done is they've taken a script, they've had AI read it, and then they've put it over but they've created the script.
Yeah, it's awful.
So
basically, just to repeat the idiotic teaching is that in exceptional cases, atonement, there are certain people that didn't need, certain people that went directly to heaven and therefore were independent of the new covenant.
Yeah, I want to listen to this one more, like the beginning of this one more time.
They were independent. The new covenant is defined by Yeshua's shed blood.
Right.
Right. And so he's saying there's people outside of the new covenant.
Right.
And
who are still
Enoch
saved.
and Elijah are exceptional examples. They're
multiple problems here. Number one, what we're talking about is the shed blood of Yeshua brings us into covenant relationship with God. So this person would be saying that there is
there's another
someone,
way
that someone can be in without being in covenant relationship with God. This person, whoever wrote this, whoever made this, clearly does not understand atonement or salvation in general. Let's listen. I want to listen to the very beginning of this one more time because there is a misconnection here.
Ever wonder if Enoch and Elijah, those who ascended without tasting death, required Jesus' atonement? The answer is a resounding no. Enoch and Elijah didn't need Jesus' atonement because they bypassed death and were taken directly to heaven by God.
So I think the notion here is that they go directly into heaven by bypassing the judgment. Where does it say that, though? I mean, yes, they were taken. However, I believe that anyone who enters heaven has already experienced the judgment, right? And so the point is that at some point, Elijah and Enoch will stand before the Almighty at the judgment seat, and they will still have to atone for there will still have to be atonement for the sin that was committed on earth. They can't be in covenant relationship without having their...
Well, there's an idea that there are people who didn't sin, right? And it says all have sinned. It says, and so what they're saying is that Yeshua is not the only unique non-sinner. Yeshua is not unique, right? Enoch and Elijah were just as sin-free as Yeshua.
Yeah.
That's awful. And first of all, one in Hebrews 11, Enoch is listed among one who had faith, right? Along with Abel, along with Noah, along with the patriarchs, with Moses, with the prophets. And Enoch's among them, right?
Right.
And then I don't think Elijah is mentioned by name in Hebrews 11, but Elijah is mentioned in Romans. I think it's Romans 11. Paul talks about Elijah who actually believed a lie. He's like, I alone am left. They've killed all your prophets. It's good for me to die.
Right.
And what does God say? He's like, slaps him up the face. It says, I've reserved 7,000 that have not bowed the knee to Baal. Like, Elijah had his own little pity party. He was not without sin. I mean, this guy, whoever, or if it's a guy or a group, this is horrible.
It shows a complete lack of understanding what salvation is.
Yeah,
it's not just being declared not righteous. It's not like I'm trying to understand the mindset of the person who has written this. And what I think is going on is they're thinking on their way to heaven, instead of going into the courtroom, they pass it by. It's like they pass by on the street in the car to heaven instead, and there's the courtroom. Oh, we don't have to go in there today because we're being taken straight into the pearly white gates. But what this suggests is that God can dwell with those who are sinners, and He can dwell with unholiness and sin. This is not the case. Christ's blood is what has to atone for our sins so that we are able to come into the presence of God. The covenant relationship with God must be affected in that we as sinners, fallen mankind, even for the sin of Adam, Elijah and Enoch, they have the sin of Adam attached to them. So even if they had never sinned, which they did, but even if they had never sinned, there still has to be atonement made just so that they can be in the very presence of God.
Yeah. I mean, Yeshua said, I am the resurrection, right? He says, I am the vine, you are the branches, right? Apart from me, you don't have anything. You can do nothing apart from me. So what this person is teaching is that, well, there are exceptions. That, yes, Yeshua is the resurrection and the life, except in extraordinary cases where people have their own resurrection. like that somehow Elijah and Enoch have eternal life independent of Yeshua. Like they can just wave at Yeshua and say, "Hey, good job, what you did." But look, this is just.
But beyond that,
idiotic.
Beyond all this, I think that there is I think it shows a lack of understanding. Okay, maybe I'll get into some trouble here, but the notion by Christianity, we have come down, and many people do come down on the notion of like, oh, if I say this prayer, I'm good, right? I'm in. But I think that shows maybe that's a dumbed down idea of the mainstream belief by many who profess to be Christians, that if I claim the cross, now I'm justified and that's it. It's like, oh, now I'm justified. What is lacking in this understanding is the notion that, guess what? We're talking about a covenant relationship with God, a loving covenant relationship with God. This is what is affected. So yes, salvation is the justification by the death on the cross is 100, like infinitely important in our relationship with God. But it is just the door opening, right? Once we come into that doorway of salvation, we've been cleansed and we are now justified. It starts the relationship with God, and this is the sanctification issue. What we're talking about is cultivating and having a covenant relationship with God that is lifelong. It's not like it's in a minute, now I'm justified and I'm good. It's this. It consumes our entire life. It is everything about who we are. We are citizens of a kingdom. Now on this earth, the kingdom that we are citizens of is not of this earth. And it should be all encompassing. And I feel like what this person's bought into is this notion of, oh, you just need to be justified so that you can check off the box of, oh, my sin's paid for. It's not just my sins paid for. It's my sins paid for, and now I can start this loving, personal,
active obedience
and active relationship.
Here's another way to think about it, is that there is no Torah on the heart apart from the incarnation.
Right.
Like
Yes.
humanity doesn't have acts because of the fall. Humanity does not have, like Yeshua says in John 3, you can't even see the kingdom. You can't enter it.
Right.
Unless you have the heart of Messiah, right? And like Paul says, he sent the Spirit of his Son into our hearts, whereby we cry, Abba, Father. There's no other, apart from that gift of faith, there is no access to. So this person is desperately in error. Like,
it makes me sad.
Anybody who hears and embraces this teaching they're being led astray in a horribly irresponsible,
I was thinking about,
sensationalist way.
I was thinking about this.
They don't recognize the war they're in. They don't recognize the actual war.
It's beyond that, though. I was listening to in John, where I think it's John. Anyway, where Yeshua is talking about false messiahs raising up, right? Like in the last days, there's going to be all these false messiahs, and they're, people's ears they'll want this teaching that'll tickle their ears and all these kind of things, right? And I'm looking at the church today, and I'm thinking, it's not just the LGBTQ Christians that are like, oh yeah, like we're embracing sin. That's part of it, though, right? They're embracing a false messiah. But I think a lot of now, not all, of course, and actually, as I listen to certain preachers, even like, I know a lot of people don't like MacArthur, but as I listen to people like MacArthur, I listen to Sproul or Piper. These guys, they have a deep love for the Lord, and there's this deep relationship, right, that comes through their faith. But I think that a lot of mainstream Christianity, they think that like the God that they're serving, the God that they see in the Bible is not the God that I see in the Bible. It's not the same. It's not the same. They've embraced this false notion. It's like this cookie cutter, candy. It's like the Candyland Messiah that they have this relationship with. And it's a false Messiah. It's not what we see in the Bible. Now, once again, this is not every Christian. I'm not saying all Christianity believes this or anything like that. But I think that there is a significant amount of people who think that I believe in the God of the Bible. They haven't actually looked at who the God of the Bible is. And I mean, it's a little bit scary because it's like, man, am I seeing the Messiah for who he is, right? Or have I bought into some false notion of who Yeshua is and who we see in the Bible? Once again, this comes back to covenant relationship. We have to have this deep-rooted covenant relationship with the Almighty.
Vigilance against false teachings is so crucial. And the fact that we can ask ourselves, okay, wow, like I'm as human as everybody else, you know?
Right.
And so taking every thought captive to obedience to Christ. I mean, these are important questions that we should be asking ourselves, right? I mean, that's what it means to be vigilant and watchful, and to keep our eyes on him, to rejoice in the scriptures that God has given us and preserved in the world, the Holy Scriptures, right? I mean, like we can, it's all there for us, and to prioritize reading the Bible and studying it and meditating upon it. And yeah, good. So yeah, this is, sometimes I see these things and I'm like, these video like we watched here, even though I'd never seen this one before, but things that are just like false and like, but sugary, like you're saying, like, but I don't even know what the sugary is in this one. I don't know what are they trying to do other than displace the centrality of the cross, right? It displaces the cross.
Right.
And like it's an enemy. That's what I mean. This just could be a fiery dart from the enemy. Like
I think it could be a need for content creation. In other words, we got to keep pumping out this. No, we'll talk about atonement today, and we'll talk about how Enoch didn't need it because he didn't taste death. I mean, what these people probably don't even. I mean, who knows? But there's a whole within Judaism. There's a whole corpus of literature dedicated to the Merkava, writings, and honestly, they're kind of buying into the Jewish mysticism, probably without even understanding what Jewish mysticism is.
Well, yeah.
Anyway.
Does this open the door to the Book of Enoch then?
Right.
Are they going to say, yeah, and so we have another revelation that's independent? Like,
all right.
and it's like, I think now more of like a Mormon kind of thing, I guess. I don't know.
Actually, I was wondering that. I was wondering, is this coming from a Mormon? I was looking at their YouTube channel to try to get some clues on what they might believe.
The Bible Smith, the Joseph Smith.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe maybe they're Mormons. That would make a whole lot of sense. All right. We're going to call it right there. If you have videos for us that you want us to look at, you can send them to chegg@torahresource.com, chegg@torahresource.com. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. I know it sounds weird, but it really does help us. We will be back on, I guess, Wednesday with another show, but we're creating content all the time. So anyway, all right. Thank you so much. We will see you next week.